Sincerity. Hopefully, this thing is working outstanding. This is good to see. It appears we are alive. We're actually alive here in the Free Credit Repair Advice Group on Facebook, also simulcasting to YouTube on Credit TV. So, for those of you joining us for the rerun, because a lot of you aren't in the room yet, so you may be watching the rerun of this, I'd like to welcome you. This is something I do every Monday night at 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, and 5 p.m. Pacific time. And this is simulcasted to the Free Credit Repair Advice Group on Facebook and also to Credit TV on YouTube. So if you're watching on YouTube, smash the like button, subscribe. If you are watching on Facebook, make sure, well, obviously, if you're watching on Facebook, you are a member of the Free Credit Repair Advice Group. Make sure to participate. If you guys would like to take part in the discussion tonight, you're going to want to click on, there we go. You're going to want to click on a link that I'm going to throw into the comments, into the chat here. Let's see. All right, so I'm using StreamYard. If you go ahead and you click on that, you'll have the opportunity to go ahead and click on it and ask a question, and your question will show up right on the screen, so I can answer all of those questions right here live for you. So one thing I do want to recommend is go ahead and put your questions that you may have down in the comments section, and we will get to them all tonight. So tonight, took a look at the topics in the Free Credit Repair Advice Group, over the last week and over the weekend. And we have a lot of new members, okay? So we have a lot of people who have not yet learned some of the Credit Life methodologies and some of the compliant things that we teach. And that's totally okay. Hey there, Tyler. Good to see you. It's totally okay if you have not yet learned. If you're new at it, this is how we learn. We learn by taking part. We learn by, whoa, let me get my focus in focus. There we go. My gosh, look how gorgeous I am. All right, so we learn by doing these things. We learn by reading up, taking part in these videos, and all of that. So right now, tonight, I want to tackle some topics that have been pretty hot in the Free Credit Repair Advice Group on Facebook as of late. And one of the main topics, and we have had people talking a lot about inquiries, and we have been having people talk about addresses, name variations, and things like that on their credit reports, and wondering, what to do about it, how to address these things, what's the best practice when it does come to addressing these things. And so tonight's topic is inquiries, addresses, and other things that go bump in the night, the things that scare us that we don't necessarily totally understand on our credit report. Okay, so we're going to start off with, I think the best place to start here is going to be what makes up your actual credit report itself. Okay, your credit report, your FICO score, right? Your FICO score is made up of a few sections. I'm going to put a little overlay here, and I'm going to cruise myself over onto this side so you can kind of see. So what we have here is what's called the FICO Wheel, okay? It is a general breakdown of the components that make FICO. Now, over on my, over on the left of the screen there, you're going to see 35%. 35% of your FICO score is made of payment history. That's, did you pay on time? Did you pay at all? 35% is made up of that. That makes sense that should be the biggest piece, because that's the biggest deal. Did you pay the money back or didn't you? All right. Next is 30%. 30% is amount of debt. Now I'm going to jump out here. So amount of debt, what that is balance to limit ratio. So how much you spent versus how much you're allowed to spend, specifically on revolving accounts. So credit cards. So we do get the occasional person, I don't want credit cards. I'm going to fix I don't want credit cards. I'm never going to do credit cards. Well, if you don't have credit cards, you're missing out on a full 30% of your point potential. And that would just be foolish. Do we want to do that? No, we don't. We want to get all the point potential. 35 payment history, 30 is amount of debt. Give me some thumbs up if you're following me so far in chat or some likes, whatever. All right, 15%. Now, 15% is length of credit history. What this is really how long have you had a credit file open? How long have you, in your own name, had your own, I'm not talking authorized users and stuff. Notice I said, how long have you, in your own name, had your own lines of credit or loans open and active? That's the history. That makes up 15% of the score. Now, 10% of the score, that's new credit. That's new credit. Well, something that goes into that is inquiries, and inquiries are one of the things we're going to talk about this evening. All right. So I'm doing a little foreshadowing. So inquiries do make up a part of your FICO score, but if we look in the scheme of things, it's 10%. So I'll get into why we don't focus as much on it in a little bit. Now, the remaining 10% of the FICO algorithm is your credit mix. That's why we want you to have different types of accounts. One kind is good, two kinds is better, three kinds is better. It shows that you're able, that you have the ability and willingness to repay debts in a timely fashion over a variety of debts. Could be car loans and student loans, credit cards and leases, all kinds of things. Okay. So that's what makes up the FICO wheel. That's what really weighs into FICO. Now, everything's got a lot more specific points and things like that. But for what you all need to know, that's really going to get you on the right track. So I'm going to start tonight off by talking about inquiries. All right. How many of you have inquiries on your credit report? Give me a show of hands. Give me some number ones in chat. Give me some thumbs up. Smash the like button. Whatever you got to do on YouTube. But how many of you have got inquiries on your credit report? Anyone? All right. So here's the deal with inquiries. Inquiries. Every credit inquiry, credit seeking behavior inquiry, every time you apply for credit and they do a hard inquiry where they really get your credit report, they really get your FICO score from the lender, they pay full price for it. Every time they do a hard inquiry, a credit seeking inquiry, it does cost you points from your FICO score. Every inquiry will cost you between 5 and 50, however we're going to do this. There, 15 points. Every inquiry is going to cost you between 5 and 15 points on your FICO score, right? Now, every inquiry on your credit report is going to stay on there for a total of 2 years. Visibly, it's going to be on there. If you apply for the Victoria's Secret card, 1 year and 11 months from now, it's going to show you applied for the Victoria's Secret card. Okay. Whether you got it or not, it doesn't matter because this is a factual history of credit seeking behavior. Okay. If some people say, oh, if you didn't get the card, you can contest it and deny it and have it taken up. No, that's not reality. That's absolute fantasy island stuff. It's a factual record of a credit seeking attempt. And that's fine. That's there. Okay. So it costs 5 to 15 points per inquiry per bureau off of your score. What do you mean per bureau, Jeremy? I mean, if you're going for a house, they're going to do a tri-merge, Equifax and Experian and TransUnion, and they'll pull from all three of them. So it'll cost you 5 to 15 points on each credit bureau. Okay. And those inquiries, they last for 2 years on your credit report. You'll physically. That's a combination I just made of words between visually and physically. You'll physically. Physically, they'll be there, as in you can see them and they'll still be physically occurring on the report. Okay. They'll stay there for 2 years. But there's a plus. inquiries only affect your score for 1 year, for 12 months. Well, I've got 27 inquiries the car dealership pulled, last January. It's April now, and they're still all over the damn report, and it's killing my score. Right? Wrong. They don't impact your score at all after 12 months. And that's great news. At that point in time, they are simply decorative. Okay? They're not affecting your score, not affecting your profile. But Jeremy, what about the inquiries that are sooner? Okay, inquiries that are less than 12 months will affect your score. Now, we talked about maybe the car or the house, maybe student loans. One thing you need to know when it comes to inquiries, there are 3 kinds of credit inquiry. So, credit seeking behavior inquiries that will not destroy your credit regardless of how many times you get it pulled. All right. How many of you have gone to a car dealership and applied for financing, and they shotgunned you out to 50 different lenders, and they got dozens of answers and stuff like that, and you finally got the deal on the car, but you had 50 inquiries, or a large number? How many of you have had that happen? How many of you have shot your information off to like a Quicken Loans or one of those loan finder things, and suddenly for a mortgage or refi, it got pulled by like 19 different people to try to get you the best deal? How many people have had that happen? Maybe a broker sent it off to all the different lenders. Suddenly you have all these mortgage inquiries. How many of you have done some student loan shopping, and when financial aid was done, they pulled Sally Mae, and they pulled up all the Fed loans and Pell and all kinds of stuff? How many have had that happen? Show of hands. All right. So a lot of you can really relate to that. You've had this take place. Here is the good news. I'm gonna show you guys. This is gonna be fun. All right. Anti-duo duping. Excellent. Add banner. And we're gonna this word down here, right down there. Anti-duo duping. Most of the people at Credit Life, the other coaches, didn't believe me that not only kind of was this a thing, but that it had a name. It's got a name. Anti-duo duping. That is something that you will legitimately and completely never need to know anytime in your whole life. But I want y'all to know how much of an expert I am. So this is called anti-duo duping. But what anti-duo duping means in English, in normal human being terms, is this. You get a shopping window. Okay? You can have unlimited mortgage, or unlimited automotive, or unlimited student loan inquiries, as long as they happen in a 30-day period. You can have a bazillion of them, a trillion of them. You can have thousands, hundreds, whatever. Oh, don't shoot my thing off to all the people I don't want the inquiries. Damn it, lender, shoot it to everybody on the planet and get me the best loan. You're allowed unlimited automotive, or unlimited mortgage, or unlimited student loan inquiries within a 30-day period of time. At the end of the 30-day window, they are only factored as one on Equifax, one on Experian, one on TransUnion. So that bazillion was only one hit each place, which you would have had if you just went out and got one loan anyway. There's no difference. But Jeremy, I still see them on there. I said they're factored. I didn't say they go away. Inquiries stay on your credit for 2 years, visibly. They impact your score for 1 year. Anti-duo duping causes that shopping window to only really be crazy times for a month. At the end, they count it as one Equifax, one Experian, one TransUnion, and those suckers are going to be going away 11 months from that point anyway. So, how many of you historically have ever been turned down for credit, and the reason listed was too many inquiries? How many of you? Give me a show of hands. Give me some ones in chat. Some thumbs up. Give me some thumbs up. I need some. Kinetics. I need some energy here. Come on, guys. Wake up. I'm awake. I mean, I'll be honest. The Monster Energy probably helps a little bit, but I am awake. How many of you? How many of you have been turned down for a credit card and they said the reason was too many inquiries? How many of you have had that happen? I've had it happen. I had it happen one time and I didn't have any inquiries. Okay, I've written an article and it's in the files section of the group. And I'm going to take and I'm actually going to turn this thing into, I'm going to make it an announcement. Oh, it's in the announcements now. Perfect. I wrote an article called It's Never Inquiries. Long story short, they're turning you down for something else. But here's the deal. If they go, we turned you down because you had 8 inquiries, you can't come back and go, you're racist. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, shit, that was 8 inquiries. Or you're sexist because I'm a woman. Wait, 1, 2, 3. Oh, that was 8 inquiries. Or you're, prejudice about whatever you're doing. No, this is factual. You can't argue it. They didn't say, hey, we're turning it down because we don't lend in your part of town or something like that. They can go to something factual and deny you for something factual. It's never inquiries. Please read the article. It's now in the announcements section of the group. It's called It's Never Inquiries, and it will explain to you why it's never inquiries. So what have we learned so far on inquiries? Inquiries will cost you from 5 to 15 points on your credit. So it does matter. Don't go Mall America and race each other up and down the aisles to see who can apply for more crap, because guess what? Those aren't mortgage or auto or student loan. Every one of them will count. You don't get no anti-duo duping. Remember? What was our word of the night, ladies and gentlemen? Anti-duo duping. The word you'll never need to know. Anti-duo duping. But as you're running up and down the aisles of your local shopping mall, you don't get anti-duo duping. That's not how it works. Anti-duo duping is for automotive, mortgage, and student loan only. Okay? So, inquiries 5 to 15 points off of our credit. They visually stay there for 2 years. They negatively impact us for 1 year. Okay? There's anti-duo duping, which lumps together the situations where you'd have the most inquiries. So the situations you'd be the most worried or the most hurt by you're already covered. Fico took care of you. They made anti-duo duping. They gave you the shopping window. Now, since they're only visual from month 12 on, there's no reason to touch those. Now, remember, I went back and I showed you what made up FICO. And remember, 10% was new credit. Well, here's the deal. Inquiries only make up a fraction of that. So that is the littlest, teeniest, tiniest, itchiest, bitsiest thing on your credit to focus on. If you have gotten 100% of every other derogatory deleted and you've got your balance to limit ratios perfect and the perfect account balance, and there isn't a single thing that's derogatory on your account, and you want to focus your time and your money and your energy on inquiries, hey, knock yourself out. But guess what? Professionally, I don't do it. And if you've read through the group and you're like seeing people, oh my God, Jeremy, you got me my house, and this Credit Life got us this house, and da da da. Did it without dealing with the inquiries. What does that tell you about how important inquiries really, really are? They're not. And we put a lot of focus on them because they're visual, and you hear other credit groups who get their information from, like, I don't know, I think there's some toilets that spit out bad credit info, and these people just stand around with like one of those lumberjack metal mugs. If you ever went to one of those all-you-can-eat lumberjack breakfast things, they got the metal plates and the metal canteen mug you drink milk from. I think they're catching the toilet spew credit info into that, and they're just drinking it down and spitting it onto you. Yeah, stay away from that stuff. We're FICO certified in the algorithm that creates your actual FICO score. So Know a thing or two about a thing or two, I guess. All right. So that is credit scores. If you got questions on it, do me a favor, drop them into chat, and I'm going to get back to this during a Q&A portion. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is addresses. Many of you have heard that you want to get rid of or update old addresses, name variations, and things like that because it can have an impact on your credit. Well, here I'm going to tell you exactly what that can do right after this.
So you're saying I can ask this cat any question?
The cat is connected to the computer. You just type in the question, it will read his mind. There the answer comes.
You're the man! I've been looking for this for weeks.
Welcome back. So there are people out there, groups out there, credit gurus out there who say things to like, you want to start by disputing all the old addresses, and you want to start by disputing all the name variations on your credit, and you want to get rid of all the old phone numbers and addresses and names on your credit that aren't spelled right and stuff like that. And that's where you want to start. And you ask them why, and they go, because that's going to help get rid of some of these negatives that are attached to that. Okay, we're gonna back it up into reality right now. So I'm going to show you once again what makes up the FICO algorithm. 35% payment history. See names or addresses in there? 30% is amount of debt. Do you see names or addresses in there? 15% length of credit history. Do you see names or addresses in there? 10% new credit. Do you see names or addresses in there? 10% credit mix. Do you see names or addresses in there? If you answered those questions I asked you with the word no, that you don't see names and addresses in there, that is because they are not used in the consideration of your credit score, your FICO score. But if I get rid of those, can't it help get rid of old negative accounts that are attached to those? Let me ask you this. How do you know that your negative account is attached to that old address variation? How do you know your positive account isn't attached to that address variation? I have more people come to me who I am doing cleanup work for when they've been in other groups or talked to other people. And the first thing I did was wipe out the addresses, and they've lost things like 10-year-old student loans that were in good shape, and they've lost their automotive history, and they've lost, I saw someone who lost a mortgage from their history over it, and they dropped 220 points with the mortgage. That was absolutely brutal. And they had listened to somebody who said, dispute those addresses, dispute the name variations. That's what you want to dispute that right away. They aren't included in the FICO algorithm. There's no reason to touch them. Well, they could connect to negatives. Well, they could connect to positives. And you're not worried about what connects to it. We're not doing some slick little trick. Oh, we're going to backdoor it and get rid of it that way. When you're doing the credit repair portion of financial wellness, when you're doing it correctly, you are going straight forward. You're going straight to the bureaus in writing. You're saying, with all due respect, verify, validate, and document that this is accurate, factual, current, correct, and verifiable as of today. If not, I demand deletion. We're doing it properly. Why? Because we're not criminals. We're not sleazebags. Why are we doing it properly? Because the proper way to do this is going to result in a permanent, read my lips, permanent credit repair. Okay, what am I heard someone can do a sweep and it comes right back and they promise results in 3 months. That's what you call a scammer. What you're looking for is a permanent fix. If you have a goal, how many of you have a goal? I'm sure you guys who are watching me, you have to have a goal. How many? Give me a show of hands. Give me some likes. Smash the like button, whatever, on YouTube. If you're watching on Credit TV on YouTube, if you're watching in the free credit repair advice group, wherever you're watching the simulcast, give me some thumbs up. Give me some likes if you got a goal. How many of you have a goal of home ownership? How many of you want to be maybe the first person in the history of your family to actually own their own home, to not pay their landlord's rent, to not live in some janky apartment, to not have to worry if it's safe for your kids to go out and play, to not have to worry if they can cross the parking lot of the apartment complex to play on that rusty old jungle gym because the idiot drunk who lives in the end unit always tears through the parking lot in his truck and doesn't watch where he's going. How many of you are afraid to let your kids play in the backyard because you don't know who's going to walk up and grab them? You don't have a fenced in yard, you don't have protection, and hell, how many of you have kids who don't know who their neighbors are going to be next year, or maybe what school they're going to go to next year? Hey, how many of you have kids who don't have their own bedroom, who can't paint it pink or blue or whatever, who can't put Paw Patrol or Mickey Mouse or Minnie Mouse or whatever they want in their room? How many of you are going through this and you're working your asses off every single day and you're not getting anywhere? You're not getting ahead. You're still in the same place you were. If that's you, you've come to the right place. You're listening to the right people. And we're going to get you into your goal. I say this all the time. Every time I do professionally, every time I do my job right, a kid gets a backyard to play in. They get a sandbox. They get a fenced-in yard. They can run out and play and skip. They can run with their shoes off and feel grass on their feet and have a great time. Come back and know that, they go to bed, they're going to wake up. Next month, they're going to wake up there. A year from now, they're going to wake up there. And when they're opening presents on Christmas morning or sitting around the table at Thanksgiving and you guys are having a family feast together, they know that's going to be the same next year. When they eventually go off to school, go off and they're adults on their own, they have kids of their own, they're going to model after what they had. So do you want them to model after that shitty apartment you're living in with that drunk asshole down the road who tears through the parking lot? Do you want them to model after being afraid to play outside? Or do you want to model them after the home you've provided them? So if your goal is home ownership, if your goal is something like that, you're in the right place. Listen, never argue with us, and we'll get you to where you're trying to get to. I know it sounds cocky. I know it sounds arrogant. I am cocky. I am arrogant, but it's also based on decades and decades of success. By the way, if you would like to have your own professional, probably a good time for a segue. If you'd like to have your own professional credit coach, I've got 32 people who graduated. So I've got spots for 32 more people that I can be coach for with Credit Life. At Credit Life Financial Wellness, what we do is we work on eliminating the negatives, building the positives through credit development and coaching, and then dealing with the money where it lives through a program we have called Money Mastery. This really is financial wellness. Anyone can, you want to repair credit? Great. I gave you free templates for letters right there in the group. That's the same thing you get from all these other companies, Lexington Law, you pay them, you get templates like this. They just get them and, take them. Take them if you want. That's not where the magic is. The magic is everything put together, the elimination of the negative through proper compliant investigations, the building of the positive through guidance and a personalized blueprint. We make a 32-page custom-tailored ebook for you called the Credit Builder Blueprint, and we guide you through the process. And there's coaching, support coaching, webinars. We've got the Money Mastery program. There's apps for your phone and stuff. It's robust. If you'd like to have a consultation with me to have me as your coach, you can do so by booking right on the bottom, www.bookcoachjd.com, bookcoachjd.com, and pick a day, an evening, or even a Saturday morning that works for you. We'll talk about what's on your credit. I'll ask you what your goals are, and I'll explain Credit Life, and I'll put together a bit of a plan, get you enrolled in the services, and get you off to the races on this thing. I'll tell you what, though, I'm very demanding of my clients that I work with, okay? If you schedule with me, show up. Be there for the consultation. It's a phone consult, but when it's the time to call, I want you to call. I don't want you to schedule because you're kicking around thinking about it. No, I want people who are passionate. I want people who are literally looking at this going, what I want to set forth as normalcy, what I want to set forth as tradition, what I want to set forth as what my children pass on to their grandchildren as right, as normal. I want to have a home for them. I want them to understand investing in their family, not investing in some apartment. I want them to understand savings and money management, and that's part of what we teach you at Credit Life. I want them to understand debt reduction. I want them to understand the importance of keeping your credit good and the bounty it can provide you. That's what we teach at Credit Life. That's what I teach to my clients. So if you'd like to book a consultation, go to www.bookcoachjd.com. I've got a limited number. I've got a finite number of people I can ever help at a time. Right now, I'm able to take on 32 people. And if you're not serious about it, for the love of God and all things holy, don't book a spot. You're blocking out somebody else from having a future. All right, let's jump back into this. So name variations. Name variations, we have said, are not part of the FICO algorithm, correct? They are not involved. The only thing they could potentially do is cut some ties that maybe keep a negative thing there, or cut some ties that keep a positive thing there. It's kind of one of those things like, if you saw a sleeping lion 4 feet from you without a cage, and you had the ability to quietly walk by, or else poke him and see if he's a nice lion, you're better off kind of quietly walking by instead of poking him to see if he's a nice lion. Don't poke the credit report on that, right? Poke. Don't do it. If you're going to have someone poke it, have a pro poke it. We're pro pokers. That was a real strange thing to say. All right, I want to dive in a little bit and answer some questions here for you guys and gals and everybody. Let's see where I can best obtain them from. I get off on tangents. Does that, just so you know, I know, does this make sense? What I'm talking to you guys about tonight, does this make sense? Do you feel me on this? I hope so. Yeah, me with the recent vehicle. Yeah, we've got a lot of people saying they got the inquiries, things like that. Absolutely. Got multiple inquiries. Daniel says, please be my best friend. You got it, brother. I will absolutely be your friend. What if the search was, Calabi says, what if the search was from the same company? It'll still go under anti-duo duping. It'll still be reduced as far as the counting of it. Anti-duo duping. Mortgage Gold. Yes, yes. All right, what else we got? Oh, Chris, thank you for dropping my scheduling link. Renee says, is it better to get things deleted first or pay them off if they're in collections? That is an outstanding question. I love that question. That is a pure, beautiful credit repair question. And there's so much confusion. There's a lot of confusion. A lot of people say, oh, do pay for delete and call and negotiate and this and that. No. The first step from a credit repair standpoint, the first step is always investigate. The first step's investigate. And if it's not investigate, it's investigate. And if you don't want to do either of those things, then investigate. Investigation from a credit standpoint is 100% of the time the first option when you've got a charge off or a collection. If you got a lawsuit happening, that's a different animal, obviously. But if you've got a collection, if you've got a charge off, the very first thing you want to do is you want to investigate with the bureaus. Put the burden of proof into the hands of those people who've reported it. Make them prove it's accurate and factual and current, correct, and verifiable as of today. Because if not, they've got to delete it permanently from your credit report. And what happens if you do a round of letters, it comes back, it's verified. Crap, it's verified. Do I pay it now? No. Why would you pay it now? You've only verified a thing. There are literally 27 different aspects that can be verified, validated, and documented with the bureaus. They correspond with 27 condition codes or dispute codes. So you could theoretically investigate 27 times and never ask the same question twice. Now, don't do that. That would be psychotic and it would take years. But the point is you can do quite a number of them. Now, if you're 5 or 6 in, then I become a believer. I'm 5 or 6 rounds. So we're talking 8 months down the road and they are a verifying machine. Well, then maybe you settle it. And during that settlement, ask for deletion because why not? But settle it. and then go back and immediately, if they didn't do a deletion, immediately go for another round of investigations. Now you're investigating it while they don't have skin in the game. They're going to go, oh, damn, her again? Geez, why would we send this? We're not getting paid. And so that's a great thing. Beautiful, 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 beautiful question. I love that question. Penny Pincher. Oh, that's a fun name. How do your team handle late payments? The same way as anything else is handled. I will say two things, though. One is if we have an account that's currently still late, I want my clients to bring it current and stop the hemorrhaging, okay? But if it's an account that has past late payments, we do investigations as well, but we ask for a slightly different result. We're looking for a repair, not a deletion. So essentially the demand isn't delete this account from the credit profile if it's found to be unverifiable. The demand is going to be specific to those late payments and the reporting of the late payments. So this is where having a pro does help because the verbiage is a little different. Good question. Yeah, poke the ex's social off mine. There's some reasons to do that. Pay the debt after you investigate it. Excellent. Melissa says, do store credit cards give the same credit boost as major credit cards with a 1 to 3 utilization? They do. They are revolving accounts, but you do get the benefit of that one little piece. Remember that one little piece of the FICO algorithm, the 10% credit mix? It does help you out there. So if you've got, let's say, a Visa card, and then you've got a Kohl's or a Children's Place card. If you're a parent, a Kohl's or a Children's Place card. Man, Children's Place cash, Kohl's cash. That stuff with back to school is boss. That's the stuff right there. But if you've got those multiple types, you do technically want to use them the same. You can do a little bit more leeway on the retail for the simple reason that sometimes it's hard to spend $3 at a place if you've got a really small limit. But they work well for your credit blend. Awesome. All right. It's not free money. If you know it's yours, pay it. Absolutely pay it. But while paying on a debt is a step in the process, it is not necessarily, from a credit standpoint, the first step. For example, if you pay on an older collection account that's reporting negatively on your credit, your score will drop. Reason being, you'll be giving new activity to an already negative account. So you think, and the thank you get for paying it is your score will now drop because you've got recent negative activity. Bad is bad is bad. Collections settled for less, paid in full, that doesn't matter. A collection is a collection. There's never a way to make a collection good. So while paying on them is a step in the process, it's not necessarily the first step from a credit standpoint. This first step 100% of the time would be investigation. All right, if a collection's past 7 years, why do they still report to the credit bureau if it's a closed account? Well, they really technically have 7 years and 180 days technically to delete from the date of first delinquency. I would send an investigation on that and say, hey, you're past the statute of limitations. I demand deletion. Kathy says, I don't qualify for a refi, but how can I get out of a joint car loan when I'm going through a separation? Through a refinance. That's it. There is nothing that can be done in family court that's going to supersede tort law, which is the contract law. Decreases debt to income ratio, though. Actually, no, collections are due all at once, so it's got nothing to do with your debt to income ratio. Interesting concept, but yeah, no, you're incorrect. Kathy says, how to get out of a car loan without refining or selling? Oh, same thing. Getting separated, need to be free. If that person's going to keep the car and take things on and they're willing to refi it entirely into their name, refining you off of it, that would be very nice of them. You can sell the car. You can refinance the car entirely into your own name, or that's really your options. Like I said, the tort law will not supersede. Debt to income ratio is too high. Now, let me ask: is your other keeping the car, or are you keeping the car? Because that'll matter in some of the things you want to do. So, Kathy, are you keeping the vehicle, or is your significant other keeping the vehicle? All right. Well, here, I'm going to give both answers since I'm not getting an answer here. All right. So if he's keeping the vehicle, but you're just stuck, what I would do is persuade him through every means possible to refinance the vehicle. If you're getting separated, if you're getting into a divorce, your attorney may have to do it. If this is amicable, you can tell them, look, it's making my debt to income too high. I can't qualify. I need to be off this car. We have two cars, and on each other's loan, debt to ratio is high. Okay, what I would say is say, because this is hurting him too. I say, look, I refi one, you refi the other, we're done with it. I refi the one into my name, you refi the other into your name, we're done with it. You could even maybe do it through the same lender so they know what's happening. And, they'll know that you no longer have that high DTI because they're doing both loans. That's I've seen it done. That's probably one of the best overall options for you on that. All right. So, what other questions do you all have? I've got a little bit of time left to answer your credit questions. I tried one refiller place. Both have fun because he's on it also. Oh yeah, no, someone can be refied off a car. That's totally easy to do. Yeah. What you need to do is talk to a lender. You need to talk to a lender. I would talk to someone. Honestly, I'd talk to someone like Capital One Auto. Let them know what you're looking to do. I'd also talk to a local bank, like a local bank, versus a buy here, sell here, car place, or whatever. I'd talk to a local bank that can handle transactions like that a little bit more. Oh, credit coach Chris is throwing me a softball. If I get a pre-approval on a credit card via the mail, does that mean I'm guaranteed to get the card? Absolutely not. Nope. When you get a pre-approval, you're pre-approved to apply. If you read it, that's actually what it says. You're pre-approved to apply. And then there's a little asterisk, it'll tell you about all of the credit criteria and the underwriting, all the crazy things you need to go through. So yeah, don't assume the pre-approvals you're getting are approvals. If you're a Credit Life client and you're getting these and you're thinking about them, run them through your coach. Take a snapshot of it with your phone, text it to your coach, or email it to support@yourcreditlife.com. And we'll tell you, yeah, go for it if it's your plan, or no, for the love of God, don't do that. You don't qualify. Otherwise, if approved, pre-approved just means your information was sold and you're in a batch of what they typically approve. So they're kind of encouraging you to apply for that specific card. And then to follow it up, Chris says, how's that different from pre-qualified? Pre-qualified, every single person on the face of the planet is pre-qualified to apply. It's illegal not to allow you to apply. Pre-qualified means absolutely nothing. At least with pre-approved, you fit in a bucket that might qualify. But yeah, the other one, no. Kathy says, is there such a thing as a form you can fill out to take one person off the loan? What you're kind of thinking of is like a quit claim deed, Kathy. That's done in real estate. To take somebody off of a mortgage, you can quit claim them off. Takes them off the property, but doesn't take them off the loan. If the bank is willing to let him assume it all by himself and let you assume it all by yourself, that's great. Odds are they're not going to, because when they can have two people on the hook to collect from instead of one, that's better risk for them. And you got to talk to. I would get together and I would either each refi the things, but I would do them through a mutual lender. I would go to a local bank. It could even be like U.S. Bank. It doesn't have to be small, but I'd go to a local bank and I'd say, here's the situation. I don't qualify with both. He doesn't qualify with both. I qualify with one. He qualifies with one. Would you please do both refis? And so he's got one, I got one, and we can split. That's legitimately what you're going to want to do. So make an appointment with a banker. These days they're making you make appointments because they keep getting pissed off when I just walk in. And they're like, Jeremy, you have to make an appointment. I'm like, I just want my money. It's weird. Banks are weird these days. It's like, you're not wearing a mask. Should I wear a hood too? I mean, what the fuck? Should I carry a gun? I mean, that's literally, think about this, you guys. Like, if a year and a half ago, we'd walked into a bank with a mask over our faces, they would have hit the button. They called police. Now, if you walk into the bank and you won't put your mask on your face, they'll hit the button and they'll call the police. I don't get it. I wasn't meant to get it. But all right, so just wanted to recap on the main topics I hit on tonight. Okay, so inquiries. It's never inquiries. Please, for the love of God and all things holy, go to the announcements section and read. Go to the announcements section and read my article called It's Never Inquiries, and that will set you all straight on that and kind of give you some more insight. Remember the word of the day, that you'll never ever need again. Who remembers it? Who remembers the word? Anti-duo-duping. And what does that mean? That means on automotive inquiries or on student loan inquiries or on real estate inquiries, we get a 30-day shopping window. At the end of it, it only counts as one Equifax, one Experian, one TransUnion. If you guys do have goals, you want to get serious and want to have a coach, you can book with me by going to www.bookcoachjd.com for that consultation to get enrolled in the Credit Life program. And then we talked about addresses and name variations. And remember, they're not included. They're not included in the FICO algorithm anywhere. Remember, I gave you guys the FICO wheel. And it's 35% payment history, 30% is debt, 15 is length of credit history, 10 is new credit, 10 is credit mix. And as you see, those things aren't on there. But what can happen if we eliminate an old name variation or address? Well, a negative account could go away because it was attached to it, but a positive account also could go away. So remember, we're not going to poke the lion, right? We're going to stick with the things that make sense, go straight for those accounts. Oh, I think I did mention the mystical toilet that people hear. I actually have it. The mystical portal that the other groups get some of their information, that when they're telling you that you have to do that first and go do the names and stuff like that. So yes, I do have that. And those groups, yes, they hate us because they hate us. What I want to also do before we get going, before I wrap this up and get back into the group to answer some questions, I want to invite each and every one of you live in Las Vegas, Monday, May 10th, 8 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to be doing my Facebook Live from fabulous Las Vegas. I'm actually going to be at the Bellagio that night. So I'm going to do a credit live, a Facebook Live from potentially the most dangerous financial place on the planet. And we're going to talk about, it's going to be right here in the group again. It's going to be right on YouTube again. But we're going to talk about, your credit, your goals, the steps that are needed. And I'll put some good topics together for that. But remember, again, this isn't next Monday. This is 2 Mondays from now, May 10th, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central, 6 Mountain, 5 Pacific time. Join Jeremy live in the Free Credit Repair Advice Group and live on Credit TV as I broadcast from Las Vegas, Nevada. All right, let me just hop into the comments, make sure I've got all the other things that we wanted to cover. Let's see. I repaired my credit with Credit Karma for free. Interesting. Boy, I got a computer check. Remind me to talk to you later about the stuff that didn't get covered by that. All right, so I'm going to wrap things up and put a rerun of this into the group. If you all have any questions, feel free to ask. I'll be around for a bit this evening. And remember, if you want to book a consultation directly with me, it's www.bookcoachjd.com. Thanks a lot. Hope you all have a great night, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.